Believe it or not, there was a time when there wasn't a wastewater system in Thompson Station. The wastewater system that was brought to Thompson Station was brought by private developers in the early 2000s. It was really in anticipation of State Route 840 opening and the fact that Saturn Plant had come into Spring Hill and Thompson Station looked primed for growth. Well, if you're going to build housing and bring in commercial development, you really needed to have a sewer solution. And you couldn't do that with everybody being on septic. And so some developers banded resources and they decided to develop a system called the Schaefer system. It's the primary system by which a certain portion of our community uses to this day, Tollgate, Canterbury, Bridgemore, among others. And so when the sewer system arrived, it was basically the keys to the kingdom. It allowed Thompson Station to open up to development. That was not met with a lot of fanfare. It was met with a lot of chagrin, gnashing of teeth, and concern about, oh my gosh, the sewer is now going to open up our town to rampant development. So it's really informative when you really don't think about sewer and how it affects growth and the conversation around growth, but it's very important. And so with the approval of the sewer system, the primary subdivisions got underway. And unfortunately, timing being what it was, the recession started in, let's call it 2008, when there was very few houses in most of these subdivisions. At some point, the town decided that it was in the best interest to control that sewer system, because if you control the sewer system, you control, to a certain degree, your destiny as a community. And for the sewer system that was expected to have lots of extra taps to be sold post all the build out, the community felt that we better control our sewer system because that'll help dictate the type of growth and where it goes and so forth. And so during the recession, the sewer system was given to the town, and in consideration, several thousand taps were granted to the developers since they had built it with their own money. And so upon inheriting the sewer system, unfortunately, we soon discovered flaws in the infrastructure and the way in which it was built. We started with pond 1 leaking. It was a small leak. It happened, I believe, over spring break week is when I got the news when I was down in Florida. We couldn't determine it, but we reported it to TDEC and said, we have an issue. They said, good thing you have a second pond. So we started using our second major pond to handle the effluent that had gone into pond 1. Well, no sooner had we started to fill up pond 2 than we had a catastrophic blowout. If you imagine losing 1 million gallons of wastewater in a matter of a day or two, it was a huge problem, much more massive than what had happened in pond 1. So back to pond 1 we go with the small leak so we can fix pond 2. Pond 2 was fixed. I think we spent over $1 million with that particular repair, only to move pond 1 effluent back into pond 2 so that we could get to the bottom of pond 1. So here we are, all these years later, still getting to the bottom of what is going on with pond 1. And so a lot of the conversation you see in the community right now at board meetings is around, what are we going to do with pond 1? It was what started it all, and here we are today, still trying to figure it out. What's interesting, though, about wastewater in general is the level of technology and what's available now to treat your sewage. And so from where we started with the Schaefer system and what we call deep cell holding lagoons and a process by which the effluent cooks down over time to a point of being applied on a land application. Now with filtration technology and disposal technology, there are options for us as a community to address sewer maybe in ways that we didn't have to. We couldn't have envisioned 12, 15 years ago. That's how far it's come. So despite its bugginess, if you will, as a system, there's some merits to that system. It's got tremendous capacity storage for effluent. It should allow us, with upgrades in technology, to actually leverage what we have in place, utilizing new technology to address certain growth challenges and growth opportunities both in the future. That is part of the conversation we're having as a community. There's going to be a lot more conversation around this because there's different alternatives. Our sewer engineer barge design has actually been working with the community over the past at least 6 months, analyzing our system and possibilities of how we go forward. So you will see in our October board meeting a proposal from Barge that outlines possibilities of where we go from here. The good news is that it's under our control. We have drip field in place because we are not allowed to drip effluent into the river. Unlike many municipalities, our effluent goes onto the land. And so to keep it simple, for a lot of folks to understand what that means, for about every 30, no more than say 40 houses that are built in Thompson Station, we need an acre of land to dispose of your effluent. And so the challenging part for a community like Thompson Station, where the land application is, some of the best land for your drip effluent is also the land that people want to develop on, live on, play on. And so it keeps us in the land speculation business, a place that personally I don't like us to be as a town, always trying to find more land to do with drip effluent. So the exciting part of what's going on technology-wise and looking globally at best solutions and applications that you see in other parts of the world is how do we best address our very expensive amenity called sewer in Thompson Station. So stay tuned.